What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about 4 different cryptos today, 4 different altcoins. We'll be starting with WTK for William Rogers, moving on to Blocktopia, BLOK for Average Jane, then on to Covalent, CQT for Stana, and finishing it up with ANKR Network for WARX Squad. For those of you that don't know, I openly do request. Leave a request in the comment section if you want to see a coin or a stock or whatever talked about. If you'd like to join the Discord, I do see to the Discord requests first. With that being said, this WTK is a YouTube request, but I'm doing this first because I meant to do it over the past couple days, and I didn't put it off. I just forgot about it. It's been a busy past couple of days. And without any more excuses or any more of that, if you guys want to join the Discord, I'll leave a link in the description. If you have any requests, feel free to leave it in the comments. And here we go. Let's do some TA. So starting off with this thing, if we look on the weekly basis here, I watched my last video just to get a refresher of what I said. In my last video, it was titled Head Scratcher because I didn't really know what to do with this thing. If it was going to be a fake out, it kind of had the looks like it could be a fake out. We were down here, right? But there's also the possibility that we could be backtesting this line and then having a positive reaction, which is what it looks like we're doing now. So this is actually a really good look. I do think we're going to see new highs from here. It's a little bit more definitive, if you would say, or if I could say. On a daily basis here, I can't really draw the fibs, right? WTK, it's got like a $20 million market cap. It's a very low market cap coin, so I don't know where to draw the fib from. Do I draw it from this top to this wick here? Do I draw it to that there? I don't know. I personally just don't know. So with that in mind, I'm not going to use the fibs on the daily basis here, but we can use some other things, right? Fundamentally speaking, on a pattern perspective, you tested your previous area of breakout, found support, it's what they call a back test, right? You broke out, back tested, and now you're moving forward. Very strong maneuver. Your RSI has a lower low. It basically came back down to this low. Same area that you bounced before, bounced again, bounced over here, bounced here, went up to the overbought zone the last 2 times. Can you be doing that now? I think so. I think this RSI looks very constructive, but a lower low technically in your RSI, higher lows on your daily prices. That's hidden bullish divergence in an uptrend, which you undoubtedly are in. That does mark continuation. I would think that you see a new high from here. Looking at the 4 hour looks really strong, man. Really strong. You just broke your purple line, and then this RSI looks really nice too. So what was I going to say? Oh yeah, on the weekly here, if we take this from top to bottom, throw our fib on here, we can do the fib on this one because those don't look like scam wicks to me. We could be making a move right now up to about 7 cents to 10 cents, somewhere in there, maybe in that range. Find a little turbulence. Maybe we break above it, maybe we don't, but what would really be nice to see is if you get above the 618 to find support on it, that would mark continuation, maybe somewhere up into this range and likely beyond, somewhere a lot higher. And this will take weeks, months probably, honestly. Maybe not to get to this zone, but to get past it, it'll probably take multiple months. With that being said, you could see prices. You're at 4 cents now. You could see prices worth 14 to 23 cents by the end of the year. I think the 786, 886 zone is definitely to take into account, especially because if we measure this ascending triangle that you're in, right, the ascending triangle was like from low here to this weekly closing high right there, and we put it at that weekly closing high, the measure move, you've got a move that takes you to just below 19 cents or around 19 cents, and that on your fib scale is, I believe it's right in between your 786 and your 886. Yes, so assuming you have a positive reaction with this 618 area, you're likely going to see these deeper retracements, if not go further. And when you have a positive reaction with the 618 area on your first attempt, the likelihood of seeing these deeper, expected extensions goes up a lot. Like the likelihood of seeing at least $1.25 goes up a lot. Like that's almost not a certainty, but I'd say like an 80% chance. And then this maybe like a 70% chance, like still pretty likely that you'd see that. So expected zone here, you could top off at the 1414 as well. Don't throw that out of the equation. A lot of cryptos seem to like their 1414s right now, so that could be the case. But all in all, things look good, I gotta say. Again, I don't think you're going to see those extensions this year, but I think you're working your way up there before you see a major correction like you did here, like you did here, like you did here, like you did here. I bet you're going to work your way up there, right? And I say major correction. If we look at the weekly here, from top to bottom, you dropped 57%. It doesn't seem significant on this chart, right? It seems like kind of, I mean, it's obviously big, but it doesn't seem as significant as this, or like as this, or definitely not as much as either of these ones here. But before you see a more significant correction, I would expect that you will probably go up to your measure move, which is again around 19 cents, something like that. And then ultimately probably even up to your extensions. You might see some consolidation or like some kind of pullback up at 19 cents, something like that, or just a little bit past 19 cents. But yeah, I think you're going up from here. That's really all I got to say. So let's move on from there. Very strong looking weekly RSI as well. Sorry, man, I got something in my throat. I keep clearing my throat. Blocktopia, USD. On KuCoin, I've got it pulled up here on CoinGecko. If we're looking at the market cap here, what I like about this is the market cap kind of looks not too, I mean, it kind of comes in line. I know that this doesn't look like it. I was actually looking at this just a second ago to get my bearings, but you know, this looks deceitful, I would say. But once you take away that like 0 point, this looks nice, because at first this look to me doesn't look good, where you have the market cap basically floating sideways, but the price itself is just going down. That doesn't look good. That doesn't look good on something that's got a circulating supply of this much, and it's got a total supply of this much. Max diluted supply is over 10 times what the current market cap is right now. That whole scenario didn't look good. But if you take away that 0 point, this market cap kind of goes hand in hand with the price. So I do like to see that. This total supply here does have me a little concerned. I don't know how many of the coins are locked up for, developers, for the founders, for initial investors or whatever. I don't know what all that is, what the tokenomics are. It's more likely to do with like the ecosystem, like rewards, block rewards, participation rewards, staking rewards, stuff like that. So as time goes on, there will be more coins diluted into the market cap or into the circulating supply, and that will increase the market cap, but it can stifle the price. So just be aware of that. If we're looking at this here, I was looking at this a little bit earlier. I tried making this video already, and my internet went out temporarily because my daughter unplugged the Wi-Fi. So I can't really use this whenever I have no Wi-Fi. But from top to bottom here, you went up to your 786. Nice to see. But then, from top to bottom here, you broke above your 236. I would at least expect you to go to your 382, and you didn't do that. That's a pretty weak sign right there, and you got a weak move afterwards. Top to bottom, maybe a more relative top to bottom here. You did the same thing where you couldn't even get to your 382. Weak. That's twice now that you've done that. Here you did hit that 382, but like more relatively, you hit that 786 again. Looking here from top to bottom, you're kind of doing that same thing that you've been doing, where you're not quite reaching that 382. This week already you had to move up, and now you're below your 236 again. You very well could see new all-time lows in a very short amount of time. On your weekly RSI, you have highs back here, higher highs here, while having lower highs. That's hidden bearish divergence. Very true in a downtrend. So I would think that you go lower from here. Let's look at the daily. Daily RSI. The daily RSI looks nice, actually. The daily RSI looks, you've got hidden bullish divergence. Higher lows, lower lows. Looking strong, kind of constructive overall too. You've got this like ascending trend line on the bottom here. I kind of like the daily RSI. That might be your saving grace, honestly. You broke above this purple line, found support, and then went up more. Volume's increasing as you're moving up. I like all those things. Let's look at the 4 hour. 4 hour is kind of neutral. It'd be nice if you can get this 4 hour back above the 50, but even if not, you might just maintain this kind of neutralness around the purple line here. The daily would make me think you go up a little bit higher, which is definitely nice, because maybe you do actually see that 382 before seeing a new all-time low. But I'm skeptical of this thing. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know. It might be a great time to get in. You are relatively close to all-time lows, but if you were to go lower, if you were to see a new low from top to or bottom to top here, your 1272, the minimum extension, would take you down about 35%, maybe 45%. You could go to deeper extensions because this is a very small fib. You could see a 60% drop or something like that. You know, I really don't know what this thing. The price action, to be fair, has just been abysmal in its whole existence. So, and also to be fair, you know, if we were to draw lines like this from this low to this low, it was at this incline, and then from this low to this low, it's a little bit less steep. From that low to that low, it's a little bit less steep. You know, you are rounding out, right? It might look abysmal, but to a certain degree, you are rounding out. So you might be coming to the end of it here. I'm not completely convinced that you can't see new all-time lows. I think you absolutely could. Let's see, actually. Let's go here. This low to high here. 1272 held it as support, but look at that. Rejected your 886. This kind of look almost always would imply deeper into the extended zone. Maybe not deeper extensions, but deeper into it, past wherever you found support. So I would think that price is down toward, let's see, again, let me throw these on there. Low to high. Your 1618 on this fib lines up with this 1618 on your more overall fib. You really could see prices in the 309 zone, really could. If not, maybe around this 1414, but I think that 1618, there's a lot of, there looks to be confluence there, and there's really nothing else to take from that. So that's what I got for this thing. I don't know if it's a good idea to get into it now. The market cap is low. If you want to put a little bit into it, go ahead, you know, but I might wait. I might wait and be patient on this. With that being said, I think that the daily looks kind of nice. It might be going up over the coming days. Watch this thing prove me wrong. Watch that be its all-time low, and it goes all the way up to 2033 from here, you know, up in this zone. Or 32, I mean. But, yeah, anyways, I would think if it goes up at all, it probably doesn't break this high. If it does, I wouldn't really expect that it'd break this 382, and it probably will. What I am expecting is you probably do see new all-time lows below 201, probably around 20 or 309, 30925, something like that, because that's where your 1618s are, right? Bottom to top. That one's at the 9. This one is at the 925. Yeah, so somewhere in that range to me would be likely, but we'll see. Time will tell. That's all we got for Blocktopia. Let's move on to CQT. CQT, what is that one again? Covalent, that's right, Covalent. On KuCoin here, ooh, I like this one. I like this one, man, already. I love, man, you don't need to know a whole lot about TA, but if you can recognize this kind of bottoming formation, right? However shape it forms, whether it's an eve and an atom, that's what that's called, right? Where you have a U and then a V, that's a double bottom, but it's an eve and an atom. That's a little less conventional. I actually hear that they're more powerful signals than the more commonly seen atom and eve, right? They normally show up like that. But that's what that looks like to me, man. Whenever you get this nice like little like cup at the bottom, it could be an eve and an eve, it could be an atom and an atom. You know, it's 2023, we don't judge. But it looks good. It looks good. I don't even need to see the RSI to say that it looks good. Probably a low cap coin. That's why I would still call this a double bottom, even though you had this wick all the way down here, because again, the order books are thin. If we take it from a closing perspective, look at you double bottom to a T. Beautiful, so beautiful. Got this like ascending triangle right here for continuation. I like it. I like it. Let's look at this real quick. Oh, this is a good one, man. Maybe. I don't want to get anyone's hopes up too high, but I kind of like it. I kind of like it. Circulating supply is this. Total supply. It's not ideal, but it's not bad. It's not totally bad. Fully diluted market cap, still pretty low. Market cap right there. Yeah, I think that's okay. 24-hour trading volume is pretty low, but whatever. You're only on, let's see, what are you on? Get rid of the T there so I can see it all. You're on Kraken. Oh, wow. You're on Kraken. And KuCoin. Nice. You could still, you know, get scooped up by Binance, Gemini, Coinbase. Robinhood if they ever wanted to, you know. You guys, a little off note here, but I have noticed that most of the coins, if not all the cryptos that make it onto Robinhood, they become pretty significant. Like take that into account, man. Like Robinhood doesn't just let any crypto on there. So and Vlad Tenev, he's a billionaire, right? He is a multi-billionaire, right? The founder or the CEO of Robinhood. I think he's both. I think he's smart, and a lot of people think that like Robinhood's this. I know I'm getting on a total tangent here, but this is like my theory here, right? And this is why I also bought Dogecoin in the last cycle, because it was like the lowest cap coin, but it was on Robinhood. Like it was good enough for Robinhood, so I'm like, you know what, screw it. I'm going to throw some money into Dogecoin before it was even worth a cent. And if you see a low cap coin get listed on Robinhood or something like that, that can be a sign, man. Because I think Vlad might be a smart cookie. He might, you know, he's kind of low key in the what am I trying to say? He's a very low key individual. I don't hear too many things about him. I hear a lot of negative things about Robinhood, but I've only had positive experiences. I'm not trying to talk up the exchange right now, but I'm just saying that can be a little cheat sheet. If your coin makes it on Robinhood, it seems to be a good thing. So with that being said, Compound's on Robinhood. I expect good things for Compound. But this is about CQT, Covalent. Let's get back to the TA here, man. I wonder about Kraken. Which one has more historical data? We're going to use KuCoin. It has more historical data. We'll do. Oh, but I don't know, man. Hold on. Does Kraken have that giant? It doesn't have that wick. You got more volume. That's why. That's okay. Whatever. We're going to use KuCoin. Very strong looking RSI on your weekly. I love to see that. That's really nice. It's kind of like a very deep head and shoulders, inverted head and shoulders almost, but not really. I wouldn't call it that. But this does look good. It does look ripe for seeing the overbought zone. My voice just wheezed there. I don't know if you guys could hear that on the camera or on the microphone. Man, I can't talk. Looking at this here. See, I don't know if I want to take this high. This is why I wanted to use Kraken, because I was afraid that I might come into something like this. I feel more confident using this stuff. Look at that, man. Yeah. You're grinding that 618. You're just grinding it. I would think you see these extensions, sure. I mean, you're probably going to make your way up to 18 to 20 cents in no time, and then see 35 to 55 cents probably over the coming, maybe by the end of the year. Watch it line up. Watch it. Let's see. Low to the high point there, right? That's your measure move of the Eve and Adam pattern, which again is stronger, so I actually might expect it to break this measure move. Man, that's calling for deep extensions is what that is. So you probably don't even stop at the 1618. Top to bottom there, 786 all the way up here, man. It looks good. It looks good. I like it. Let's see what the daily looks like. Yeah, strong, so strong. Look at this shit, man. Consolidated, you're having your breakout, your nice like bullish engulfing candle here. Volume's increasing, right? The most notable volume that you've had since the beginning of October, about a month ago, right? A little bit over a month ago. I like it. I do like it. Let's look at the 4 hour. Yep. This move might just be getting started, man. What has more volume? Is it KuCoin or is it Kraken? They both look a little spotty, don't they? What's the market cap of this thing? It's a pretty low market cap, yeah. I like it, man. I think it's going higher. I think it's going higher. I don't even think it's a bad time to buy right now. Like, you're not chasing at this point. You're buying. Man, can you guys hear that? I keep like wheezing. Like, oh my god. I don't know what that's about. I'm like a squeaky toy over here. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but if not, I just sound crazy. But what was I going to say? You are at a point of resistance, more or less, which isn't necessarily a good time to buy, but you are buying. Like, this is before the breakout. Breakout traders, what you would do is like you would buy at the breakout. You'd buy once the price hits 1605. Like, when you see that, that's when you'd buy. But I would kind of give this thing the green light now, man. With that being said, it could come down. It could come down here and then go up. If you're okay with riding it out for like another, let's see, 10% loss or so, 10 to 15% loss, then yeah, I think this is a good time to buy. But not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I like it, man. I like it. That's all I'm going to say. I think this thing is good up until, like, what was that measure move? What was it? I'm going to do it on KuCoin too to make sure to see if they line up. That would be all the way at 88 cents. Here you are at 15 cents now. That'd probably take place in a very short amount of time. Oh, we are on KuCoin. Sorry, let's go to Kraken and see if it lines up. 88 cents, remember that. From the closing point here to there. That wasn't the closing point. I'm sorry. There we go. A little bit higher than that, right? 90 cents, yeah, lines up. So, and hey, look at that. Previous area of support over here could be resistance. That's like your overall 786 zone. Yeah, man, I like it. I like it. So that's all I got for that one. Let's finish this up with ANKR, ANKR for WARX squad. WARX squad. I don't know. WARX. We're going to be talking about it. ANKR USD. Coinbase. Sure, yeah, I like Coinbase. There we go. Kind of got an Adam and an Eve pattern here, man. Now this is the more conventional one, right? Adam and Eve. And even within this Eve, if you see, if your eyes are not deceiving you, you've got another Adam and Eve, right? Like, look at this. Look at this shit. This is crazy. Adam. It's not too crazy. What they call this is a fractal. I don't know if I believe in fractals. You know, in my experience, here's the thing with fractals, you guys. You want to know about fractals if you know anything about them at all. If not, a fractal is like you see a pattern, basically like this, right? Where you see like a bigger pattern and then it gets like in smaller patterns or something like that. Like, I'm not explaining it well, am I? You can see the same pattern, the same price action take shape on different time frames. It might not be, it's very likely not going to be the same size, but it would be like if you saw this move, like this overall move, the way that this looks, if you were on a daily time frame and you saw this same move but on a daily scale, it was like this move here. People expect that fractals will produce the same results, right? Like if it did this before, it'll do the same thing just on a smaller scale. I've oftentimes found out that fractals actually, whenever you get a move that is similar to a move that happened before, you will get the opposite reaction, at least in a fractal sense. You know, I feel like similar moves definitely play out the same, except for I'm not explaining this well, but maybe I can do this real quick. Hold on, we'll come back to this in just a second. Let's see, Doge on Binance, right? What was it? Yeah, it was this one here. It was this one here. So like this right here, you had this kind of fractal shape or like consolidation area down here. If we look at the daily, go all the way back, you have this look here, and you had a very positive reaction afterwards. A lot of people were expecting, if you look on the weekly, it almost looks the same here, but you had the opposite reaction. You went down, right? It doesn't look the same compared to this and this, but when you go on the daily, they actually look very similar. You had the opposite reaction. But different market circumstances. You had bearish divergence here. Here you didn't. You know, more toward the beginning of the bull market, more toward like the end of it, Coinbase listing and stuff like that over here. Anyways, I'm getting off topic here. I want to wrap this up. I feel like I did a bad job of explaining fractals, but you can look it up for a more formal definition. Looking at this thing on the weekly, maybe on the daily, because I do want to go back to see if this is a Adam and Eve. I don't know if that's an Adam and Eve, man. It kind of looks like it. Kind of does. You're near the point of breakout with that, but the weekly definitely does look like an Adam and Eve. Strong weekly RSI. You couldn't even get oversold. I love to see that shit. Let's see. I think you do get overbought. Bullish area of control. From top here to the bottom, you're at your 382 for the second time, right? You came up once, twice. I would bet, you even had a double bottom, man. I would bet that you come up to this 618, 69 area in no time. You're sitting at about 2.6 cents right now. You'll probably see 3.5 to 4 cents in a very short amount of time. Very likely before the end of the year. Yeah. And then going into next year, you're probably going to see a move that takes you all the way up to 8, maybe 12 cents in this expected range. What would your... You know, I'm going to do that. I think this is appropriate. Your measure move would take you all the way up to all-time highs, man. And with this kind of look, I would think you don't stop. I would think you go all the way up to 26 cents, but that can be months down the line, right? Months down the line. Let's actually go on the monthly pattern here, monthly chart. What am I? Time frame. There we go. Top to bottom. Look at that, man. Up to your 0.5, held your 0.69. Some people are like, why do you have that? Like what? Like that actually can't be. No people on YouTube, no people on the Discords, but I am in more than one Discord, and I've had people make fun of me for this before, and I'm like, man, I have seen it been significant enough. I like fibs, man. Fibs are what I specialize in, so I don't just put it on there for no reason. Like it's definitely a like relatively significant area. Whenever you see this, I like to see that to me would say that we probably will see this 61869 area in a very short amount of time, which is all the way at 7.7 to 9.4 cents, if not further than that. I think you're going to see respect on this throughout. You probably even go up to these expected fib extension areas between 45 cents at a minimum all the way up to $1.15. Here you are sitting at 2.6 cents now. I definitely think by the end of the bull market you'll see these prices and probably beyond that. I want to look at the more immediate stuff on the daily, right? Daily, I like the daily, man. I think it's going higher. I do. You got lower lows in your RSI. Like this, overall though, you've got this like ascending channel, right, that you're in. Looks good to me. Looks good. You probably got one more push in you. And again, I think you'll go higher than this right now. You'll go to those price targets I was talking about, probably around like 7.4 to 9 point whatever cents. And, you know, maybe by the end of the year, but you might have pullbacks along the way. Maybe you move higher now and then you pull back a little bit and then you continue to go up, something like that. You might find resistance on this purple line. You might get above the purple line and then come back and find support on there and then continue. You know, who knows how it looks, but I would think that you have a more or less immediate move up in the coming weeks. Very neutral 4-hour RSI. Very, very neutral. But you're kind of at the base of this RSI, the daily RSI like channel that you have here, from bottom to bottom here, right? Like you're kind of at that now. So if you break this, that could look bad. Today is kind of like your make it or break it. I bet you go up though, man. I honestly do think you go up. So to prove me wrong on that, I guess close this day here or lower. If you close today here or lower, it probably will go down. But if you close it above 2.687 cents, I think it's on. On to, where would you go? In like the more immediate term, that's your 382, man, too. You're grinding. I think you're going to go make a move to like 3.6 to 3.9 cents in a very short amount of time. I think I said that actually earlier. So yeah, that's where I think you're going in a very short amount of time, probably in the coming weeks, likely by the end of the year. And then past that going into next year. So that's all I got, you guys. Out of these 4 coins, which one do I think looks the most promising? I kind of, I don't know too much about it, but I kind of like CQT, Stana. That bottom looks nice. It's a very new chart, not a whole lot of historical data, so don't hold me to that. But, WTK is definitely a player. ANKR, ANKR here looks pretty good too. Blocktopia, it's the ones that you don't count that can often do the best. And I looked into the project itself. Like I said, I made a video before this. My Wi-Fi went down, so whenever it was, I used my phone and I was looking it up. It seems kind of interesting. It's a metaverse project. It seems kind of interesting. My concern is just that undiluted supply, but that's not a total problem. I don't know their tokenomics. I don't know. I didn't look enough about it or look into it enough to like really determine it. But if I had to say which one's got my interest at the moment, I would say CQT. CQT's probably got my interest. But beyond that, I think all these look nice. They all have decent potential. They're all at like low market caps with the ability to do a lot of growth. The only one I guess that I would be more or less questionable with, kind of like not sure of would be Blocktopia. So maybe don't bet the bank on that one. Maybe wait and see, because it could see new lows before here. I do think it's going to see new all-time lows, but that's all I got, man. That's all I got. All that to say. So if you guys like the video, hit that like button. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos. If you have any requests, feel free to leave them. And with that, I leave you. So peace. Adios. Bye-bye.